All right, and here we are. Beautiful windy day. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. Some nice big trees. This is Redcliff, Alberta. Beautiful spot. Nice little place for a picnic. Go down the river this way here. And the reason why it's called Redcliff is on the other side of those cliffs. There's a park behind me, but there's people over there having a party, so I'm not gonna go down and get any of them on video, but there's a boat launch here. And if you go down the river, this is the Bow River. Oh shit, sorry. The South Saskatchewan River. Yeah, and those are the cliffs over there on the other side. They're pretty tall. I know it's hard to tell by video. But this river here goes all the way from Edmonton, and it comes all the way down and across, and it goes into Saskatchewan, the province. So it's pretty cool. There are rattlesnakes out here. I have never seen one. I've hiked all through here, lots, and I've never seen a rattlesnake down here. But if you look further down the river on the left side, there is a bunch of cliffs that are red. They used to get bricks from there from a company called IXL, and they made bricks for the local area. Redcliff is quite the town. It's definitely had its ups and definitely had its downs. It's early 1900s, I think it was 1912. An F5 tornado ripped through this city, and it ripped out the Redcliff Motor Company, which made cars. There was a huge brick factory here that it completely decimated. It flattened half the town. Medicine Hat, its next door neighbor city, was lucky, and Medicine Hat ended up expanding instead. I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see on the right of the river there are some buildings over there. That is Echodale Regional Park. They have a huge swimming pond and another pond adjacent to that that flows over some rocks, and you can catch trout in there. It's fun, been down there quite a bit. And let's get a good close-up zoom of the cliffs out here. So the cliffs over there on the other side are about 100 feet high. Close to it, probably. Go down this way. You can see the river, looks pretty good. On the way back, we'll stop and I will show you guys the red cliffs and stuff. There's a lot of people refer it out here as the sister area of the Grand Canyon, and it looks like the Grand Canyon if you kayak through here, have canoed through here and kayak through here. And when you get further down, it looks like you're right in the Grand Canyon, and you're covered by huge canyons on both sides for probably about 10-15 kilometers. It's really beautiful. So I'm going to zoom in a bit more. If you look just on the hill where my finger is there, you can see that seam of coal. Out here they used to have huge coal mines that went way back, and at Echodale Regional Park there's a little farm set up there, and they have an old coal farming or coal mining hut up there. And back in these hills there were coal mines all through here. And right across the river, so right here, used to be surface mining. They'd surface mine out here for coal in and into the ground, but they've blasted these mines closed years ago. And if you look just on top of the hill, right about here, you see it looks like an old castle up there, but it's not. It's just a bunch of rocks. But you could tell they had mined all that out for coal. You can still see the coal streaks going through that thing there. Through that outcrop or whatever it is. Yeah, so this is Redcliff, and then coming around here they have like a nice little spot you can sit and chill, have lunch. Next week we're supposed to be getting some snow by the looks of the weather. So, and we'll just take you for a quick little jaunt. Quick little jaunt over here to the boat launch. The boat launch is over this way here. Yes, the leaves are crunchy that time of the year. Step over the fence. A lot of people bring their pets out here for walks, and this is a boat launch. Frankly, I wouldn't launch my boat off of here. There's no way. I certainly wouldn't drive my vehicle down here. These little pyramid-shaped pads, of course, are for grip because it is a pretty steep hill. You don't want to fall down here either. Be pretty rough on the old kneecaps, that's for sure. A little side path here. I think we'll take this instead. Yeah, people say there are rattlesnakes down here. I have never seen one. As I was saying before, I went out to Dinosaur Provincial Park, which is in Alberta. And that was the only place since I've lived out here that I have ever seen a rattlesnake, ever. And it was coiled up just on the other side of a rock that I literally had walked on, and my friend goes, "Oh my God, look out, there's a rattlesnake there." And I was like, I thought she was just kidding. But oh yeah, no. She definitely wasn't kidding. Down by the shore here. Seeing down the river. On the left side, so straight down where it opens up and you can see the cliffs start coming out there, they go back a ways up top. And I'll show you guys the Redcliffs where they used to mine the bricks out of, or the rocks to make the bricks. They'd crush the bricks and pack them into bricks, and there's buildings and houses still in Redcliff and in Medicine Hat that still have the bricks that were made at IXL in their foundations and in their structures. In the South Saskatchewan River here, there's all kinds of fish. There's golden eyes, moon eyes, there is walleye, there is pike, there is sauger, and suckerfish. I don't think there's too many trout in here or salmon. Oh, and there is giant sturgeon, huge ones and small ones. People catch them every year. I've seen on Facebook in the area of the Medicine Hat fishers, people that are out fishing along the Medicine Hat River and stuff, and they show pictures on Facebook of their catches, and some of those sturgeon that they catch are incredible in size. But I don't do sturgeon fishing because they're considered a dinosaur. They are a dinosaur. Sturgeon are a dinosaur fish, which goes back millions of years, and they look like a dinosaur. They look like an alligator sort of looking things. They have like these great big bumps on their back, and they're lake sturgeon, most of them, or I guess from what they're called, a river sturgeon, and they are on not an endangered list, but they are almost endangered. So the practices for catching sturgeon are very, very strict. Barbless hooks, you have to keep them in the water. When you're taking the hook out, you can't pull them out of the water, although people pull them out of the water and take pictures with them, you know, because that's what people do. You're not supposed to. It's better to just leave them in the water. But like I said, I don't fish for them. I fish for other species. I have never even accidentally caught a sturgeon. So, but yeah, that's my take on it. Just my personal opinion. I'd rather just look at them, maybe swim by and go, oh, cool, look, a sturgeon. But if other people catch them, that's cool too. Everybody's entitled to do what they want, as long as they're respectful, I guess, you know. I've seen some posts where people have them right out of the water, you know, right up to their chests. Hey, look at me, caught a sturgeon, me and my kid. And they have them out of the water for like, you know, 2-3 minutes, and it's just not a good idea. It's not good practice. Like I said, humbly my opinion. But I'll bring you back when we're at the Redcliffs, and then I'll show you guys the Redcliffs. All right, here we are back at the top of the hill. I was going to show you guys this here. I'll have to go for a little hike just down the trail, but so this would be the Redcliff River Valley Trail System. These have on the right upper right corner here of the elevation, so 750 meters. Elevation map. We're not up 750 meters from sea level. Those cliffs aren't 750 meters high, that's for sure. Yeah, they have like all kinds of trails that run through here. Death Valley Trail, Old School Trail, Tequila Sunrise. They have one called Lump Gravy, Slow Burn. There's like a little kiosk up there. And this here, that's the town of Redcliff. And Redcliff Golf Course, which I like to frequent. I love the Redcliff Golf Course. It's called Riverview. We're just gonna head on down the trail a little bit here. So we're gonna get to the first sign that we see, the very first warning. And there you go. Caution. There may be rattlesnakes in this area. Rattlesnakes are active at night during the summer. They will seek out shady places during the heat of the day. Children should be warned not to go near any snake. Reasonable watchfulness should be sufficient to avoid a snake bite. Alright. Here we're just going to take a little quick walk down the path into rattlesnake territory. I think these hills were also mined at one time for coal, all down along here and stuff. And for bricks, I know that for sure. I'm just going to get around the corner here a little bit and I'll show you guys the Red Cliffs of Redcliff. You can see the iron oxide or whatever that is in the rocks there. Rusty. And then the park we were at is down over there. Yeah, I got the sun coming into view. It's to my right. It's going to be setting here pretty soon. You can see some of the holes up in the hills there. There's lots of coyotes out here, lots. Like I said, the sign says rattlesnakes. Maybe back up in these cliffs. I've never hiked through the cliffs, so I can't say for sure whether or not there are rattlesnakes up here, because this is one part I've never hiked through, but I am going to though. Either this week or next week, and I'll get a video out of this hike that I'll do. It's not too far away. Here's one of the areas I was talking about. I want to zoom in on the camera because it's quite far down. Today is definitely not a hiking day. It's just I wanted to come out and show you guys a different little area that's pretty cool to come to. Great fishing. I fished out here quite a bit. Caught some nice walleye out of here last summer. So I'm going to zoom in here. If you look into the middle of the screen, way down there, glowing in the sunlight, you can see the Red Cliffs. And that's what the town of Redcliff was named after originally, were the Red Cliffs, because they were red. All these cliffs were red quite the ways down. Out here where you see it flattened down, I'm pretty sure the cliffs used to reach all the way out to the river, kind of like on the other side when I showed you guys on that other video. And throughout the years, this was all mined out. and mined all the way back. And I know that for sure because they have a museum out here, and I did talk to one of the people, the curators at the museum, and they did talk to me about how the cliffs did at one point reach the river, and with coal mining and brick mining, it just receded. It just they receded it by mining it. But I mean, that's just natural. That's naturally what people do for industry. Now I'm going to bring you back here. When we come back, I'll be at the old IXL brick plant, and I'll take you for a little tour around the old brick making facility. All right, here we are back. We're in the town of Redcliff now. Well, the town site anyways. And I said I'd bring you guys back to the place where they made the bricks, and I'll show you guys some of the machinery out here. Coming up here is some of the old machinery. And this was the old site of Redcliff Pressed Brick Park. Redcliff Pressed Brick Company Limited. So, first up here we have an old cart. This is one of the old carts that they used in the mines, or bringing the brick up and down the sides of the cliffs, where I'm sure they had like a cliffside tramway set up with wires and cables to go up and down the cliffs, because there's a spot where it looks like there was an old spot where they had done that at one point. That was just my guess. Look at this. It's called the kiln car. Originally, brick were transferred from the brick press to the periodic kilns on the wooden brick carts in the drown gaff kiln. Workers would set the brick in a pattern to allow for drying and firing. Get a close-up view of that for you guys. So that's what that was. Not a cart that went up and down the hill. Cool though. And over here, we have a huge piece of machinery. It's about 10 feet tall, close to it. And we'll go and we'll check out that sign of what this is here. You can see all the different plugs and stuff that are in it. Which was used, it looks like it was pretty modern, pretty recently used, and it's a brick press machine. We'll go around to the other side of the brick press. We'll check out the back of these machinery on the way back. So moving on down, we have another piece of machinery. This is a mixer. Electric motor on it. Yeah, look at that. See all the gear work. Clay. This giant piece of machinery here is called a dry pan. So I would assume this had something to do with drying, but we will read about it, of course. It's always good to know the facts. Yeah, I know it's going to be a little bit windy in the video, and I apologize for that, but it is what it is. Dry pressed brick plant. This is what the inside of the plant would have looked like, with different levels, different types of machinery. When machines were big and old and clunky and loud, and they still are. We'll come back on the back side of these machinery on the way back here. I'm gonna go check out, they have different kinds of brick over here, but they talk about different kinds of brick. Coming up to a building here. Quite an old wall. On the back of this wall, they very interesting pictures of. These pictures are 3D. I know it's hard to tell on the video here, but I don't know. I'll get up close and I'll kind of try to show you here. So like they're 3D. The guys sticking out here. The pictures are all in 3D. Beautiful artwork. That would have been an old brick worker, or bricky, or whatever it is they call them. This is what the plant once looked like here in Redcliff. Now it's just a field. Let me go to this other wall here. And we have men stacking bricks to go out, build houses, buildings, infrastructure, that type of thing. On the back of this building here, we have different brick patterns. So this one might be hard to see, so I'll just read it out. It says there were 3 brick plants at Redcliff, and examples of their trade names are shown in the frogs, recesses of the brick. Redcliff Press Brick IXL 1912 to 2004. Redcliff Clay Products 1910 to 2018. Ross Clay Products 1918 to 1922. Redcliff Premier Brick 1922 to 1967. Redcliff Brick Company 1907 to 1910. Redcliff Brick and Coal 1910 to 1932. Gunderson Brick and Coal 1932 to 1954. Perry Brick and Tile 1954 to 1961. In here in the bricks, you can see it says IXL Canada. Different ones, IXL. On this one actually has the name of the town stamped on some of these old different style bricks. Redcliff on an angle there. I've been out in the woods and out in some other areas 1912 to 2002. These are what they call the frogs in a brick, and I found some really old bricks. Even hiking along the river you find them too. And then over here we have like dark tweed Roman, Governor's Blend Modular, light tweed modular, Kootenai Brown modular, dark tweed flashed modular, red flashed split face Roman, medium tweed rug modular, Montego modular, maroon modular, Chateau Gray modular. Chateau Gray sounds like a wine. I wouldn't drink a gray wine though. Red modular, dark tweed paver. Somebody decided to pave over with a black magic marker. Fine grind split paver, buff modular, red flashed blend modular, dark tweed modular, red flashed clinker modular, pardon me. Said it so much now it's just kind of getting Scarborough, Rumbold Modular. Red Flash Norman. Hey Norman. Greyburn Modular. And down here, Cascade Modular. I'm gonna bring you back at the big brick building just around the corner. All right, here we are at a very interesting looking building. Sorry guys about the light. I know the lights, you know, it's that time of year. Oh, there we go. A whole bunch of pigeons just decided to fly away. All right. More pigeons. Come up and I'll read you guys the sign on here. You can see the old fashioned bricks here. Chimneys. Rising about 26 meters, 85 feet above the plant floor were two brick chimneys, or stacks, visible on the horizon for several kilometers away. These were joined by several shorter chimneys, all in proximity to the periodic kilns. That's in that picture on the wall that I showed you, those side-by-side kilns. They were built of 2 Ys of red face brick plus an inner liner of fire brick. Exterior steel stays help preserve the shape. The chimneys were connected to the kilns by underground flues, small tunnels, and the flow of exhaust gases was regulated by a steel plate damper that could be raised or lowered. The higher the chimney, the greater the draw. Once the plant ceased operation of the periodic kilns in 1981, the chimneys no longer had a purpose. The chimneys were demolished in 2016, except for this remnant. And you can see the steel that wraps around that helped to hold up the structure of the chimney here. Which today is just that, a remnant of an old chimney you could probably see for miles and miles away at one point. All right, this is the site of the old brick plant. There's part of it over there. This here where you see like the darker colored grass and it goes along was the site of the old brick plant. Here. There's our pigeon friends up there. So now we're gonna come over here to this part. It's a pyrometer shack. This building was a later addition to the plant, but prior to the tunnel kiln era. The exterior bricks exhibited rugged texture, i.e., vertical grooves and ridges not part of the original product line. The building served as a location to store pyrometers, i.e., devices to measure the temperature in the kiln. There is also some indication of windows in a chimney, meaning it was an office for the burner. The employee who regulated kiln temperatures after 1980. One of its purposes was to store brick samples, so they could test them for strength and durability, I'm assuming. So here's another old building that has been long since bricked over. Keep those pesky children out of there, teenagers. Which is okay, because I mean, just up the street is a RCMP police station. So here's a much smaller chimney, which is probably one of the smaller chimneys that they were talking about. Just coming around this side here. Yeah, the ground is bricked with bricks, I'm assuming, from the IXL plant at one point. Test kiln. This small downdraft kiln, under construction in the photo, was constructed later than the main kilns. It was used to make small batches of bricks, testing new clay mixes or results at different temperatures. After loading the kiln with dry brick, the doorway was bricked up and coated with clay. The burners were ignited and the flame hit a baffle wall, deflecting to the vaulted ceilings, and was then drawn down through the bricks. Refractory brick on the floor were set so there were gaps, and the exhaust was drawn down into underground flue and up the chimney. A simple plate damper was raised or lowered to control the flow of air. That's what this building here is. Alright guys, that's going to conclude today's video of the old IXL Brickworks in Redcliff, Alberta. It's a pretty cool place. If you guys ever want to come out here and check it out, bring the kids. It's a great learning experience for kids and people alike. Okay, so here we are on the back side of those giant pieces of machinery we were looking at earlier. Remember what this one here was called? The dry pan. And we come up to this one here with the giant mixer. There is something written on it, but stamped at one point, but I can't exactly tell what it says. And then walking along the path, we come to the, remember what this one here was called? The giant brick press. This is the press. How they would press the bricks. And then down inside of this big machine. You can see inside here. And that smell. You can smell that smell of the old grease that they used to keep these machines running. It's something about that smell. I just love old machinery, and that smell there. It smells really good. Alright, and that's going to conclude our tour of the Redcliff Press Brick Park in Redcliff, Alberta. Until next time, ciao. Alright, so I missed one thing in the video. I wanted to add this before leaving, because this is a really important part of the area where we live here in Redcliff and Medicine Hat. Surrounding areas. Under the cities here are huge gas wells, and some people have been quoted saying, all hell for a basement, and they are not far from the truth on that one. This here is a gas well, number 43. You see the old derrick there. Would produce gas. Early company records indicate that gas was purchased and supplied from a 4-inch diameter pipeline located in Mitchell Street. In 1920, a contract was made for a supply of gas with Canadian Western Power and Fuel. In 1924, the company approved the drilling of gas well to serve the plant for the cost of $10,000. This well produced gas from the Milk River zone from 1924 to 1949 without tubing. In 1949, the well was munning off and lined with 120 feet of 3.5-inch slotted pipe. And it continued to produce until 1977, at which time a new well was drilled and well number 1 was shut in. In 1980, the abandonment process began as the tubing was pulled out, a concrete plug was poured into the well, and completed the last step. And this here would have been the old site of the old well, where the old well used to have been. Alright guys, until next time. Ciao.